Dorsling.
I'm Mrs. Goss.
And I'm Mrs. Livesey.
And we're here to tell you a little bit about 5th grade before you come to meet the teacher. So I'll start by introducing myself. I'm going to reach over here to change the slide, but my name is Miss Dorsling. I am the 5th grade science teacher here, as well as history and literature. Because of the way 5th grade is set up, I will teach science for all 3 classes, but my homeroom class will come back to me for history and literature. A little bit about myself. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I'm from, where all of my family is from. And I graduated high school in Fort Myers, Florida. When I was 12, we moved from Atlanta to Florida. I then went to college at UCF in Orlando. This is the UCF Knights logo right here. And then I moved to Dallas in August of 2016, and I've been here ever since. But because we're from Atlanta, my family is still big fans of most of the Atlanta sports teams. The Braves won the World Series last year, which we were super excited about. And then the Falcons as well, even though they make it very difficult. At FCA, I've taught 5th grade science, history, and literature for 6 years, going on 7. I used to coach some sports here at the school. I don't any longer, but I'm still pretty involved in the athletic program and like to support where I can. So a little bit about my family. My mom and dad moved to Dallas about a year after I did, with my youngest brother who was still in high school at the time. My oldest brother, Alec, is a construction engineer in Orlando, Florida. He is still living there after graduating from UCF as well. I'm the second child with my new puppy, Max. Max is 8 weeks old. Bundle of fun, but a lot of work. My younger sister, Kayla Parker, she graduated from UCF as well. She also graduated from another school in Florida with her master's degree in physical therapy. She's now working as a physical therapy assistant. She married Nathan Parker in May of 20-something, a while ago. They just celebrated their 5-year anniversary. And then my youngest brother, Patrick, he is another Dallas local. He graduated from Coram Deo Academy in Flower Mound. He is a big fan of all things sports related. In fact, he studied sports marketing when he was in college. He just recently graduated from Baylor University in the spring, and his wife is still enrolled at Baylor. But he is working in Dallas this summer at Sewell Cadillac. So we're enjoying having him back around as well. This is my entire family, minus my new sister-in-law, Mary. This picture was taken before they got married. This is my oldest brother, Alec. That is me, my mom and dad, my younger sister, Kayla, and her husband, Nathan, and then my youngest brother, Patrick, and just imagine Mary here on the side. This is our picture at my sister's wedding, just another picture of my family in general. And then a little bit more about me. Like I said, I played both volleyball and softball in college. This is when I was playing volleyball, and this is when I was playing softball. A little bit later, my sister actually played on the same team as I did, which was super fun when we were in college together. This is when I graduated from college. This was a couple years ago at Thanksgiving, which is why there's a turkey in the background there, but I got my whole family to sign up for a 5K on Thanksgiving, and they were not exactly happy with me, but we had a great time and made some great memories anyway. And then this is my new puppy, Max. So he's a little cutie, bit of a mess, but a lot of fun as well. So now I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Goss.
Hi. Like I said, I'm Mrs. Goss. I'll be teaching ELA, and then for the homeroom we'll come back for history and literature. And let's see a little bit about myself. I was born in Southern California. I actually moved around a lot, so I've lived in a lot of places in California. I was born in Garden Grove, moved to Palm Springs, lived a little bit in San Diego. Then we went north a little bit, so I was in Sacramento. I finally graduated high school from Fresno, California, and then married my high school sweetheart, and we moved together to the Dallas area. Then I attended UNT, the Eagles, and I've actually been a part of the FCA family since 2013, since my daughter started here in kindergarten. I started off volunteering, and then I did some substitute teaching, and then I just recently worked in the middle school office as the office manager. So a little bit about myself. After my husband and I moved here to Dallas, I got all of my sisters, I have 3 sisters, to move here, which then of course the parents had to follow because we all started having grandchildren. So so I got everybody to move here to Texas with us. And so then we have 2 children, as I mentioned, and then we have Noelle and Matthew. Noelle is entering 9th grade and Matthew is entering 7th grade now. And then we also have a cat named Phoebe, and then 2 lizards. One is a leopard gecko named Luna, and then one is an anole named Timmy. For fun, we love checking out different beaches. We like to go vacation on the beach. And then on the weekends, I can often be found at FCA football games and track meets, supporting my kids and all of the students. And then here's some pictures. This is me and my family. We just recently went to Myrtle Beach this summer. We had a blast. I loved Myrtle Beach. This is my daughter. She's a cheerleader at last year's homecoming game. And then my son, Matthew, doing track. And then of course, these are the lovely animals. And there's Phoebe taking a nap. She's lounging often. And then our leopard gecko, Luna, and Timmy, the anole. And then I'd like to introduce Mrs. Livesey.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Livesey, and I'll be teaching 5th grade math, and I will be teaching history and literature also to my homeroom students. A little bit about myself. I was actually born in Edina, Minnesota, near Minneapolis, and I grew up in the Navy shortly after I was born, and moved all over the United States. The only state I have not put my 2 feet in is Alaska, but I have been to all other 49 states. I graduated from Ithaca College in upstate New York many moons ago, and I moved to this North Dallas area in 2003 from California, similar to Mrs. Goss. I became a part of the SCA family in August 2015 when I transferred my 2 girls here to Founders Classical Academy for 7th and 10th grade. We were only sorry that we didn't hear about it sooner. I transferred from Allen ISD, and yes, that is quite a drive, and we have never regretted making it. I've been here at Founders since 2015 as a parent, and then a substitute teacher, a paraprofessional, and a special education teacher before I have transitioned this year to teaching math. I'm very excited. A little bit about my background is, like I said, my father was a naval pilot, and myself and my 2 brothers grew up all over the United States. I met my husband in California when I was 16. We were friends for a long time before we got married. He worked with my mom, and he's about 3 years older than me, and asked her if he could ask me out on a date, and she said, good luck. We have 2 beautiful children. Haley is 23 and Sarah, who's 19 now. Haley lives in Miami, Florida, and works at Lowe's Hotel and Resorts in the concierge department. And Sarah attends college at the University of Texas in San Antonio, and she's studying economics. So we are on the path to empty nesting. We have a 5-year-old lab mix named Maggie May, and she is full of energy and likes to play all day. For fun, my husband and I like to travel, especially to Hawaii. So I could show you some of those pictures of this from this summer. First, I would like to show my daughter. That's my husband Kevin and I at a wedding that he performed for my best friend's daughter, and that's my daughter Sarah. This is our little Maggie May, and these are just a few pictures from this summer when we went to Maui. So, but we're back and we're ready to get started.
Now that we've introduced ourselves, we want to get into a little bit more about 5th grade in particular. So I have the honor of explaining the higher expectations that we have for our 5th grade students. We are the highest grade in the grammar school, so we do expect our students to behave in a way that mirrors that. But they are also the youngest grade in this building. In this building, we also have 6th, 7th, and 8th, as well as the gym, and occasionally some high schoolers make their way over here for whatever reason. But no matter what, I love for them to see the older grade levels while also being in 5th grade, because it helps me to show them what I'm expecting as they grow and what they're going to be going into. We do expect them to have standards for behavior similar to the grammar. and show the older students how to be best behaved. When we do end up mixing with the grammar school grades, we expect our 5th graders to be setting the example for both kinder, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. As they are the oldest, they should be the most well behaved, and they typically do a very good job of this as well. One of the biggest skills that we teach pretty explicitly in 5th grade is our expectation for organization and personal accountability. Moving into a new building, for many of you who have been here in K through 4th, or even just a new school in general, there's a lot to learn. And in 5th grade, we have a lot of transition habits and patterns and procedures and routines that we have to get used to. So in the beginning, the 3 of us will be very explicit with our expectations. We're gonna help guide them in how to be organized. We're gonna help give them tools to be able to be successful. But know that that is something we do expect them to grasp onto as their own. Our goal is towards the end of the 5th grade school year, as they're moving into 6th, we expect them to be able to continue those kinds of patterns and habits on their own. So again, we recognize that they're coming from 4th and we're not just gonna let them sink, but we do our best to kind of pass that baton off to them and help them develop a little bit of individual accountability. And there are some more responsibilities, especially with changing classes. So the more that we can establish those routines and procedures and guidelines from the very beginning, the better off they will be, and the more kind of having that foundation will allow them to be more successful as they move on. As far as our curriculum goes, we have a quote here from Aristotle: "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." Here at Founders, as part of a rigorous classical curriculum, we aim to not only teach content knowledge, but also teach to the soul and the mind and the heart of the child. We want to help create prosperous citizens for a good and free society. So I'm gonna go through a couple of highlights of what we talk about in each subject area. But in history, we go through a lot of units. We get to talk about the Renaissance time period, as well as the Reformation. We'll go through the Age of Exploration with Christopher Columbus and the conquistadors. We'll go through the states and capitals, which is also really cool because we get to memorize where they are on the map and kind of hear from students what their experiences are in those states. And then in the spring, we do quite an extensive unit on the Civil War. We'll also memorize the Gettysburg Address and get to kind of pick apart that beautiful speech and understand what was Lincoln actually saying, and then get to commit to memory for ourselves. In literature, we get to read some fantastic books. Tom Sawyer is in the spring. It's always a hit. Not only is it interesting, but it's also pretty funny as well. Sherlock Holmes mystery stories. We'll continue on with the next C.S. Lewis book. If you were here in 4th grade, you read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So we go into the next book with Prince Caspian. And then in 5th grade, we actually get to introduce our students to their first experience with Shakespeare. We'll walk through the Midsummer Night's Dream play, and we'll actually act that out in class together to make sure we understand what's happening in that plot. In ELA, we have a heavy concentration of diagramming practice to help understand sentence structure, as well as Greek and Latin roots, which really this bleeds across to all the other subjects as well, because the more Greek and Latin roots you understand, the better able you are to decipher meaning of unfamiliar words. In math, we do a lot of work with fractions, decimals. They'll get a little intro into algebra, as well as some financial literacy, which is pretty interesting for the kids as well. And then in my specialty, science, we get to do a lot of really cool things. Again, if you've been here for years, you know that science has been a little bit of a shorter class. It's not as heavily focused on in the foundational grades because math and reading is so important. But in 5th grade, I get to have a whole class period just for science. So we'll do an extensive unit involving chemistry and the periodic table. We'll go through cells and a little bit more of biology. We'll talk about classification of living things. They'll get to do an animal project and things like that. But one of the most fun parts about 5th grade science is the labs that we get to do. We do have a full lab in this building that we share with the middle school grade levels, and they are kind enough to let us use it when we can. So lots of really cool things in store. I'm now going to bring up Mrs. Goss to go over the next slides.
Okay, so we're going to go over our mission statement here just a little bit. So at Founders Classical Academy, we seek to provide a well-rounded education that is distinctly classical. We pursue knowledge, promote virtue, and prepare your student for a prosperous life in a free society. So our field trips, all of the fun field trips. We'll do 2 field trips. We'll do one in the fall and one in the spring. Our first one will be to the Fort Worth Zoo. That will also coincide with the animal project that you heard Ms. Dorsling talk about. And then later on in the spring, we're not quite sure what we're gonna do yet. We are hoping that they'll start up at the stockyards again and start participating in that program. But if that doesn't work out, then we're definitely going to be looking into things. And then for any volunteers that we have for field trips, you do want to make sure that you fill out that volunteer application form. I know it'll be in the headmaster update from Mr. Karras as we get into those first weeks of school, or you can also reach out to the office and get that. And we'll probably, I know we'll send that out too to make sure that you have that link to fill that form out as soon as possible. Then you'll also want to make sure to check out our school website. I personally think the best way to navigate this is in your top right-hand corner. There's 3 lines. If you click on those 3 lines, then you can go ahead and go to campus information. From there, you can click on parents and students. Under this, there's an index from A to Z, anything you ever wanted to know. If you want to know about uniforms, then you can click on uniforms. If you want to know about our syllabi, then you'll go under S and click on our syllabi, and that will give you all of the different things. If you want to go to calendar, then you can click on calendar from there, and that's kind of the one-stop shop of our website, where you can find anything and everything you ever needed to know, just in case you had a quick question and need to know anything about what's going on in this school. And then here's Mrs. Lipsy.
Okay, school planner and agenda. Okay, you need one of these. Every student must have a planner. And how do you get one? You get one for $11 cash only up at the school office. You can purchase it at Meet the Teacher Night. So make sure you have that planner. It's super important. It's required. Room parent signups. We are always looking for wonderful volunteers, so please make sure, just like Mrs. Goss said, that you get that background check done early. And we appreciate anyone coming to help and coordinate with our classrooms. Now, unlike kindergarten through 4th grade, in 5th grade, it's not the same type of needs. We don't have as much need for the nitty-gritty in the classroom as much as we have need for chaperones and help with fun things like the family fun fair and Christmas parties. And especially a family fun fair, we'll be having fun with face painting. We also need library volunteers here. The middle school has a wonderful library, and if you're interested in helping out, we can talk to someone in the office and get you signed up for that. Mark your calendars. Family Fun Fair is November 4th, and we would love to have help with our face painting booth. So a big shout out to all you people with artistic talent. Come and help. Have a great time. Teach us how to paint faces, and you can also help paint faces. That would be great. So we would love to have you sign up quickly. If you have any questions, just let us know. We're here for you. The way to let us know is email us. Here are our wonderful email addresses. You can email directly to the grammar or middle school office. That's fine, either one. And then here are our individual emails with our first initials, last name, and all the same end tag.
That's all we have for you, and we're looking forward to meeting you at Meet the Teacher on Friday. See you later.
Bye. Welcome to the 5th grade. We're excited.